Hey there, so today is Thursday, March 5th, 2026. As you saw, 11:07, and that is PM, of course. You can see it is dark out there. So today is the same day that I recorded my last video, a tour of sorts of Al-Ain here, a desert oasis city. I think that it is the fourth largest city of the United Arab Emirates, and we are about a 15-minute drive away from the border of Oman. As I explained in previous videos, then I decided to come here to Al-Ain as part of my evacuation route from Doha, Qatar, because it is a smaller city, it is less of a target of the Iranian missiles, and it is right near the Oman border, and my ultimate destination was getting into Oman. Muscat, Oman is about a 3.5-hour drive away from here, at least as far as just straight driving, but there is a border to cross, and I have no sense of how long it is going to take to cross that border. So people have been posting comments saying that the other border, closer to Dubai, has wait times of like 10 hours or something to get over because of people evacuating from Dubai. Dubai is the most popular tourist destination in the United Arab Emirates, and without a doubt one of the most popular tourist destinations in the Middle East in general. And so luckily I am not going to be going over that border crossing there. Now, the reason I'm starting this video now at after 11 p.m. is that is happening now. So the original plan had been to get over the border tomorrow, but I was in touch with Mohamed, and he just came up with this idea and sent me a message saying, hey, what do you think? Should we just do it tonight? And I said, yes, let's get it done. For one thing, there should be less lines after midnight than in the middle of the day. And also it will just be a relief to get it done. Even though I'm totally exhausted at this point, I could easily crawl into bed and go to sleep. But I am very excited about getting this done now. And if all goes as planned, fingers crossed, then getting to Muscat, to a hotel near the airport, and then I have 3 flights booked the next day out of Muscat Airport. I won't mention where I'm going for now, but I will say that they are each going to a different city at a different time of the day and with a different airline. And so I was looking on Expedia.com for the possibilities of flights out of Muscat and was actually fairly surprised by the reasonable prices there. So they were around $300 each. It averages out to like $875 or something for the 3 different flights. And so it was worth taking the chance of spending some extra money, considering that the options for getting out are very likely to involve spending extra money anyways, and it could be a heck of a lot more than that. I've heard of evacuation flights costing like $40,000. I don't know, I'm sure that it's all over the map. Maybe sometimes they're free, maybe sometimes they're $5,000. I don't know at all, but somebody had posted about that. And then just the commercial flights, the prices are going sky high. The obvious unknown here is, what are the chances of a scheduled flight actually taking off? I have no sense of that. So that is why I booked 3 of them, and with different airlines, so that if one airline is all around shut down, maybe there's a better chance that another airline is going. So those guys, it's actually Mohamed and his brother, are on their way here now. They will be here in roughly an hour. I am getting packed up, and then we're getting out of here. Short drive to the border, and then my honest assessment would be that it's not going to be too long of a line because of the location, because we aren't up by Dubai, and because of the time. But I could be wrong. It could be hours of waiting there. Who knows? But whatever happens there, I will not be filming any of this. After this clip right here, then not going to film obviously anything of border crossings, not going to film with these guys in the car. It's going to be dark, it's going to be just desert, nothing to see, and also they don't want to be in the video. And so I just wanted to do a intro here, and then we'll see what happens on the other side. And then assuming that I get to Muscat, even if those flights don't take off, then I will feel like I'm in a much better position in general than being anywhere else in the region. I didn't want to be in Saudi Arabia, in Riyadh or Dammam, where I would be basically kind of stuck in that one city, just hoping for the airport to be open and to be able to get a flight. And then it's just absolute, vast, stark desert everywhere around there. Well, there are actually some things to see. There's actually a town outside of Riyadh that I would love to see. But anyways, getting to Oman feels like an all-around better plan. For one, because the airport is supposed to be fully open. But even if I'm not able to get out, then Oman is all around not as much of a target, and virtually not a target at all. There have been like 2 missile strikes, I think, one of which was a mistake. Maybe the other one was as well. And so they just are not getting hit by the missiles like everywhere else, including Qatar, which apparently got hit a bunch today. I left day before yesterday. And Abu Dhabi has gotten hit, I think, today, Dubai, the U.S. Embassy in Riyadh, etc. So Oman really seems like the best country for me to be in of all the options around here. Kuwait, Bahrain, no way. Those would be even worse than Qatar from what I hear. And so this is the place to go based on the information that I have. And then if I don't get a flight out, then hang out in Muscat or go somewhere else, get a bus ride to some, desert town or whatever, and hang out and watch the news and be in touch with the U.S. authorities, the evacuation people for potential flights out. If commercial flights aren't going to get me out, then I will be looking much more into the emergency evacuation flight options. So anyways, that is it for now. See you on the other side. And look at that. I can see planes and runways. Man, oh man, is that a beautiful sight, despite the fact that these landscapes are not so attractive. I guess this is a new hotel built in the middle of a lot here, and another one under construction right there. They were banging around earlier this morning. And boy, oh boy, is that sun looking bright. So it looks like this whole video is going to be just in hotel rooms, but as you can see, made it. So Mohamed and Ahmed saved my butt. I will tell the story of the journey getting here. It is pretty uneventful, luckily. So I forget exactly what I explained in the clip that I filmed last night back in Al Ain, but my options for covering the distance getting here had been that direct bus was a good sounding option, but that wasn't going to be able to happen because it was already full up. Other than that, it would have been a matter of kind of a patchwork of taking a taxi from my hotel in Al Ain to the border crossing on the U.A.E. side, changing into another taxi that was authorized to cross the border, getting across the border, and then from there was a town nearby where I guess there would be buses, but not sure how often they would go, or else paying another taxi, or maybe the taxi that I was already in that got me across the border, paying them to get me all the way to Muscat here. And so that is the Muscat International Airport, and the city of Muscat, capital of Oman, is off in the distance there, and there you can see the sea. So that was a very daunting sounding mission, especially just like for the last day, and so close and yet kind of so far to have to go through all that stuff. And the border crossing in particular, based on my experience from Qatar crossing the border into Saudi Arabia, then that was a rough one, including just the figuring out how to get the taxi to get me across, and then they probably overcharged me, although I really don't care at all about the $150 that I spent. That was $150 very, very well spent. But, you know, just the negotiations with the taxi driver and how much are they going to charge and how am I going to pay them and all that kind of stuff, then, you know, that was all sounding very, very kind of daunting. So I had been in touch with both Mohamed and his brother Ahmed, as you saw in the photo there. Ahmed had kind of said, well, as a backup, I might be able to help you out in getting here. And so I sent him a message and said, what do you think about getting me across the border, and then from there I can catch a bus or a taxi or whatever into Muscat? And he said, okay, cool, I'll do that. I will meet you at 9 o'clock in the morning. That would have been this morning. And so that was sounding better, at least. And then I got a message from Mohamed, and he said, what do you think if I get you all the way there tonight in the middle of the night? And even though I was wiped out, I said, all right, yes, absolutely, let's do it. Let's get this done. That will be such an absolute relief. And so he said, I'm gonna see if I can make it happen, get back to you. And so it was a bit later that he got back and said, yes, we can do it. Ahmed is going to come with me as well. And so they got there 12:30, and we headed straight for the border. Luckily, that border was an absolute breeze. I think there was maybe one car in front of us, and maybe none. There were a few different security checkpoints we had to go through, but it was basically all just drive up and drive through. Although, when we got to one of them, the main one, then that one actually took a little while. It might have been 15, 20 minutes, not because of cars backed up, but we pulled up and they needed to see registration for the vehicle. And at first, Mohammed seemed to be not sure that he had it. And so that was a stressful moment there. But then he found his registration, gave it to him, as well as proof of insurance, and then my passport and their IDs. And then the guy at the booth there took a while of checking, I don't know what, but 15, 20 minutes-ish of just sitting there waiting. So you can imagine if there's a long line of cars and they all take this long. I think it took longer because of the foreign passport in my case, and then maybe something with the vehicles, I don't know. But you can see how the other border crossing closer to Dubai, apparently like 10-hour waits. That's what somebody said. I have no idea how accurate that is, but you can imagine, especially with so many more tourists over in Dubai, that that border crossing, and during the day, because we got there at like after 1 in the morning. So I don't know if during the day even that other border crossing that we went through could be busier, but we got through it very quickly and then just commenced the drive, and we did it, flew, made one bathroom stop, and that was it. And then we got here. And so Mohammed and Ahmed were considering staying the night here But then we got here, 5 in the morning or so, and they decided to just cruise on back and get back home. So massive, massive thanks to them. So I am really running low on energy to even try to explain anything, but as I showed there, it is 2:42 in the afternoon, so got checked in here and then couldn't get to sleep right away, maybe 6 o'clock or something, and then woke up at 10:30, so got sort of like 3 or 4 hours of sleep. I am really frazzled, but this is going to conclude the video here. I will just say that I will need to get a taxi over to the airport for my flight at 8 in the morning. So as I mentioned, I booked 3 different flights for tomorrow to maximize the chance of actually getting on one of them, having no idea at the time of booking these a couple of days ago if most of the flights were flying out or what. Like, I had no clue, really how many flights were going out of Muscat here as far as what was scheduled and what was actually taking off. And so I wanted to give myself a better chance. So I have a flight at 8 in the morning. I have another flight at 2 in the morning, another one at 10 p.m., all tomorrow. Those are all going to 3 different cities in India on 3 different airlines. And so far, it is looking good for the 8 a.m. one. It is with Oman Air. I just checked in. When I went to the website to check in, there was a pop-up that said flights canceled to, and then it listed off a number of destinations. It did not include my destination. And so that is good news, of course. I am checked in and paid for baggage and a seat. I am not going to check in for my other 2 flights because you have to pay for the seat and baggage and whatever other extra things when you actually go ahead and check in online. And if my flight takes off, then I don't want to have paid for baggage and stuff, because if those other 2 flights do take off tomorrow, then I won't be getting a refund. Now, if they get canceled, then I should get a refund, but I'm rooting for them to take off for the sake of the other people, of course, who are scheduled on those flights and are trying to get out of here as well. So the more flights that take off, the better. I will have lost $600 or whatever, but that is not that important at this point. Now, Mohamed had sent me a message that I got this morning saying he talked to somebody who said the wait times for getting, checked in and through security and everything at the airport could be like 10 hours. So my flight is at 8 in the morning. I'm thinking maybe if I leave here around midnight, that's 8 hours beforehand. You think that should do the trick, especially since it's middle of the night. So that will probably be the plan. Try to get some more sleep here. I have 9 hours until I would leave at midnight, and then hope for the best with the flight tomorrow as far as the crazy check-in process and just that it takes off. So I'll see if there's maybe any updates throughout the day. Of course, my big concern every time I hear an email come in or whatever is that a cancellation of the flight at 8 in the morning. But it is reassuring knowing that I have those other 2 flights scheduled for later in the day. So that is it for now. Time for me to get to work on various things here, get some sleep, and then hope for the best tomorrow. That will be another video. All right, see ya. Well, a nice hotel, but in an absolutely godforsaken place. I'd only seen it at night last night, and it looks even worse in the daytime, but it's all under construction. So I just had some snacks for breakfast. It's now about 4:30 in the afternoon, and I am absolutely starving. The question is, can I find a restaurant that's open when it's middle of the day during Ramadan? So there are a few options right around here, including a Hardee's. juices and ice cream. That one's closed. Cafe and fast food, Zaytoon. But here is the Hardee's. Let's try this. Hardee's since 1960. Char-grilled American burgers. Well, the door was open, but I guess they're not actually serving. I heard some voices back in there, but nobody's appearing, and no fries or anything out, so probably they open up at like 5. Maybe they're just like getting things ready. KFC also looking closed, but this Zaytoon Cafe is looking like it might be open. Alright, I got a bunch of stuff here. Looking forward to this meal. I'll show what I got here back in the room. So I got a mango shake of some sort. A double cheeseburger with a few fries there, and then some cheesy jalapeno fries and a falafel wrap. So that is going to do the trick. All right, 5 p.m. I still need to make up my mind what time I'm going to actually head for the airport. Not quite sure about that, but it's going to be middle of the night at some point. Going to try to get some more sleep for what is going to be a ridiculously intense, challenging experience getting to that airport and going through the lines, and I'm sure it's just going to be chaos there. But hopefully it will all be worth it, this entire journey, getting from Qatar to here, to get on a plane that hopefully gets off the ground and gets me to India. So you will see what happens in the next video. Have a good one.